Hey, let's have a discussion. In Dead by Daylight, how do you know the difference between somebody just playing the game and making their own choices and working with other players, which is a lot more serious of an issue? Where is the line drawn? Because I believe that that line is not as black and white as people make it out to be. It's a lot more gray than that. It's a video game. People can choose what they do and don't do in said video game, but deliberately ruining the experience of another player is a big deal. Before we get into like the deep dive of all this, it is just a video game, and I personally don't really care about being on the tail end of these things, but I love having discussions and like the kind of the psychology of all this stuff. That's what I enjoy about talking about it. With that being said, and without diving into the end of the match, we're going to first cover the context of the match up until then. So we load into Yamaoka as Clown, family residence. Game starts off really normal. We find Nancy, we chase Nancy, we get some good hits, we hook her. And then as soon as we hook her, she starts trying to go next, tries to end it on hook, right? To get out of the game. And then is saved later before she can fully die on hook. We go on chase with some of the other survivors. We hook the Dwight, we hook the Michaela, and we find Nancy again. We down her and she's out of the game. Also, check out the fact that I have 5 hook states and I haven't seen the Fungman all game. It seems like every single time I find a survivor in this match, it's the Dwight, Nancy, or the Michaela. There is a Fung in this game. Since when? I thought you were making that up. At this point in the game, there's 3 survivors alive, 2 gens left, and a long time passes before I find anybody or see any gen, like real gen progress. And then off near no generators, I find Fung for the first time. We chase her and we down her. Fung gets hooked. I find Dwight for his last time. We go on a chase and I down him. He's out of the game. Now we're to 2 people alive with 2 gens left. And a long time passes where I basically see no gen progress. I can't find anybody. It's just this really boring stalemate. Oh, like borderline hostage, but I didn't want to go that far. Finally, I find Michaela doing a generator. This is where the story starts to become a little subjective, because up until this point, I've basically just been factual about the match. I find Michaela doing the gen, and I, feel bad for her that I've been finding her a lot, and I'm always finding her doing her objective. In this Fung Min, I've barely seen, I found her once, and it was near no objectives. And so, out of pity for the Michaela, I said, hey, if anybody deserves to live this match, it's you. So I let her do the gen, and eventually, after like another big amount of time passes, I find Fung Min at Shack, basically near no objectives again, and I chase her, I down her, she dies on hook, because Michaela wasn't going to unhook her anyway. And that's where the match ends. We get to endgame chat, and you could tell the survivor had already made it into my stream to hear what I was talking about, because I had been talking about kind of the psychology of all this as the match was ending. And they defend themselves immediately before I just said GG's, and they said I'm the one that did 3 gens and got multiple saves, and that they're gonna report my VOD and all this stuff. I'm not worried about all that. I don't mind. But this is like really where this discussion opens up to a variety of different opinions, because I disagree with them, but I'm willing to listen to their side of the story, and the fact that is it on them, is it on the survivor to take aggro for their team? I think yes. I think if I'm a survivor that has no hook states and all of my team is dying, I should probably be a little bit more involved near the killer. She also claims that she did 3 gens. The match never made it past 3 gens done, and I know for a fact one of the gens that got done was done by Michaela. That's the thing, even though we've been there today. Oh, nope. She then goes on to say that the Michaela was farming people and then hiding, which I also disagree with, because I never really went back to hook all game, that game. And so how is there any farming going on if nobody was punished for an immediate or a dangerous unhook? Michaela defends me and just says that I played well and it's not that serious, and I agree, it's really not that serious, because try to think, how many times have you played killer and let somebody go just because you like their playstyle more, or you had a moment of personality or memory together, or any other situation where you just make that decision? I don't think that's colluding. My take here is the issue becomes more of a bannable, serious issue if, say, I'm playing killer and I load into the lobby and I see my friend and I say right from there, like, hey, I'm gonna let him do whatever he wants and kill everybody else. That's different. Like, that's super different. I think again, I'm down for any opinions or disagreements here. Basically, anytime I choose to let somebody go at the end of a game in a match of Dead by Daylight when I'm playing killer, it's basically because I feel bad for them if their teammate is like hiding a lot, or like, let's say they were like super good and they like messed around and it was a fun time. Anyways, let me know if you think I did the right thing, or if you disagree with what I did, or if you think the Fung blew this out of proportion, or if you think literally anything at all. I just want to hear all of your thoughts, comments, concerns, or whatever about this subject, because I actually run into this a lot when I play killer, and I think it's really goofy, but I love to figure out like why people think the way they do. I appreciate you so much for making it this far in the video. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.